In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the profit implications for firms that compete in imperfectly competitive industries. And we'll take a look at both scenarios of economic profit and economic loss. And again, I want to reiterate that we look at economic profit in economics, and that is taking into account costs which capture the relevant opportunity costs that are present in the production decision. So let's take a look at this first, the first graph here, where we have the profit maximizing output level, which is right here. That's the intersection of marginal revenue, marginal cost. And again, the firm marks the price up to match whatever the quantity demand it is for that particular quantity level and charges an equilibrium price. But in terms of profitability, the question is, what is the connection between the price at this level of output and the average total cost? In this case, price is here, average total cost is there. And at that particular output level, and keep in mind the average total cost goes all the way back to the first unit of output. Just like batting average and grade point average, it goes all the way back to the beginning. And so as a result of this, the economic profit for this particular firm is this shaded region right there. And that is positive economic profit. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because of the fact that at this particular point of production, price is greater than average total cost. And that therefore leads to positive economic profit. What can we assert about monopolies? Typically, this is the condition of a monopoly given the sole seller in a market with high barriers to entry, unique product, some particular product advantage or resource advantage. Therefore, we would expect price to be above average total cost and the firm to earn a positive economic profit, both in the short run and the long run. But it's not always the case that monopolies do earn economic profit, because sometimes there's regulation that dictates the price or limits and restricts the price. Or in the case of not only just monopoly, but monopolistic competition and oligopoly, it could be the case that the price is now lower than the average total cost. And so in this particular case, this scenario on the right, the average total cost at this profit maximizing level of output, which again is determined by the intersection of marginal revenue and marginal cost, then the average total cost per unit is there, meaning the price is here, unit cost is there, and again, unit cost goes all the way back to the first unit of output. And as a result, this entire shaded region that goes all the way back to the vertical axis is a negative economic profit or an economic loss. And the reason for that is simply because of the fact that price in this scenario is less than average total cost. In other words, the output value is less than the input value per unit. And as a result, not a good combination. And when might we see this happen, this negative economic profit situation? It could be in the case of which there's too much competition for, say, a monopolistically competitive or oligopolistic industry. There could be a negative economic profit condition. Costs which are very high relative to the price that the demand side is willing to pay for it. It could happen. We tend not to think of this as being common as this is with monopolies, but certainly in the long run, in monopolistic competition, we say that economic profit is zero because of the fact that over time, the differentiation that resulted in the higher price to begin with is weakened and eroded, and so as a result, looks more like pure competition in terms of price over time. So in the short run, it's very possible for all firms in all imperfectly competitive industries to earn this kind of economic profit, price being greater than unit cost at the given level of production, the optimal level, profit maximizing level. But it is possible in the short run to earn an economic loss in some of these industries and reverting back to zero with monopolistically competitive firms in the long run. Oligopolies, it's a little bit more ambiguous. In fact, we tend to think of oligopolies as being relatively stable in terms of pricing, and your text has a fairly extensive discussion of different pricing mechanisms and schemes that help to explain how oligopolies determine price. But the key thing for us to know here is simply the determination of economic profit, which goes back to where we have begun this whole discussion of market structure and the cost of production, and that is the connection between the output value and the input value. And that determines whether at the profit maximizing level of output, which is always for all firms in all industries, where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, a firm in imperfect competition may or may not be earning economic profit. And so I hope this was a helpful look at these dynamics of price and average cost. And as always, feel free to contact me individually if I can